All right, how's it going, guys? I'm Bryce Broome. I own Service Valley CrossFit in North Dakota. I'm here to teach you guys how to develop your staff so you can step away from the gym, go on that vacation, even if it's a small trip with your friends and family, just like I am here in Georgia. We're along the Chattahoochee today. Got a nice cup of coffee, and I'm sitting here with Mike. So let's get it started.
All right, here we are. In under 2 years, Bryce has taken Source Valley CrossFit to a point where he doesn't have to be there every second. Like right now, he can take much deserved regular breaks from his gym to vacation or train for the CrossFit Games, which he's going to compete in very soon. And we'll have the whole Two Brain team cheering for him. If you're interested in a few days off, this is the show for you. This is Run a Profitable Gym. I'm your host, Mike Warkentin. We're going to talk about taking some time off. Owner-operator businesses can be prisons. You're wearing all the hats and you can't ever take a day off, or so it seems. I believe back in the day, Chris Cooper was present for the birth of a child, spent a little bit of time at the hospital, and then ran out to coach some classes at his gym, if you can believe that. Other gym owners have similar stories. We're going to help you avoid that kind of stuff today. So how do you escape the prison? You got to develop your staff. We're going to get into it. Ready, Bryce?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. So we are on vacation right now of sorts, even though you're working with me. Talk about your current staff situation. What does it allow you to do at the gym? And what we're trying to do here is figure out what your current situation is and how you're able to be right where you are right now.
Yeah. So my staff currently, there's two individuals where this is their full-time job. They do all of the coaching. They have personal training clients, and they're both pretty well versed in like back-end things as far as how to do billing, how to set up a profile, things of that nature. And then I have a client success manager who works about 12 hours every 2 weeks. I have another nutrition coach who's very part-time. Everything for her is done on her own accord, a couple hour meetings, maybe a month within the gym. And then I have one part-time coach who we just brought on before this trip that is now starting to help with our foundations, and will start doing more classes as needed. And then I also have a VA that helps me out. So the main role of my VA is lead nurture. What I found is as the gym grows, I just wasn't able to keep up with lead nurture, and my coaches are doing all the coaching. So I didn't want to stack them with a task they really didn't want to do.
Okay. So the basic summary, if I'm getting this right, you got two full-timers, you've got a custom client success manager, CSM, we often call that. You've got a VA, and then you've got a few part-time people. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Okay. And you've done that in less than 2 years, or about 2 years. So that's pretty impressive. Give me the quick rundown of your gym. You're selling CrossFit, obviously. What kind of size and space, members? What have you got going on at the place?
Yeah, so we're about 2,400 square feet.
Yeah.
We sit around only 100 members. Okay. So we're not like the high tier, anything in that fashion. But what we do a really good job of is selling. Yes, where CrossFit is our bread and butter, but a lot of our members stack their membership with nutrition or extra personal training.
High value.
We also just started our small group classes, and we call that like our strong moms class. So we try to niche it just with that. And then we have a few semi-private people as well. Okay,
so that's an interesting one. You're obviously selling enough high ticket stuff that you can support yourself, support some full-time coaches, and support the business. This is interesting because the other way for me, I was selling low value memberships. Like I had underpriced my memberships for so long, and I was just desperate for more members all the time. So you've taken a completely different approach, which is allowing you to do something I could never do, which was take a break. So that's fascinating. And I love the fact that you've been able to do that so quickly. Now, my startup staffing plan was do everything myself to save money. It was brutal. So like I literally made a business plan. I know you did too with the help of Two Brain, but I made my business plan by myself, and my staffing plan and wages plan was like, we'll just work for free. And that's how the business will save money. It was brutal. Like I was struggling for years. I didn't fix that until I got working with Two Brain Mentor. Talk to me about your startup plan and your vision, specifically your early vision for staffing so that you could take some time off and live.
Yeah, I think I should caveat this where my background was I was managing a CrossFit gym at a YMCA.
Yeah.
So I did that for 2 years. As I was doing that, there's a few key people where I just kind of was like, they would be really good coaches. Or I just kind of like planted that seed while I was there. Everyone knew that I wanted to start a gym. But within my plan was, I'm going to be the one coaching the classes. It was all that. And I just asked, her name's Emily. She's now my main coach. She does majority of the classes. And I just asked her, like, have you ever thought of like coaching or working in a gym? And I probably got the best answer any new entrepreneur wanted to hear was, I just want to work for you. And I was like, well, sweet. Like,
Yeah.
awesome. So during startup, we called it like the internship phase, where it was during startup. It was trial by fire for her. She was doing foundations. She started classes, and just kind of through that process, I guided and mentored a little bit, but really she just did a really good job of like learning. I would notice things within classes and just pull her aside afterward and be like, hey, this was really good. This is the next thing that I would work on. For her specifically, it was like being really quiet and not loud enough. And then after that, I had another guy with me. He wasn't a coach yet. He was just doing like our cleaning services. He's one of my good friends. So I did tap into my own friend group, but I got that through my old gym and my old job. And he helped me build the gym. So I knew that this was also important to him. And again, kind of planted that seed of like, do you ever think about being a coach? And then as we slowly grew, and I was like, all right, Emily's taken all the morning classes. She's a rock star at it. I don't want to work till 7 p.m. coaching classes. And I approached Ethan and I was like, hey, like, was this something that you'd want to do? And again, kind of helped him, guide him through that. That process was a little bit cleaner, still a little bit trial by fire, because as soon as he started, the reason I hired him was like, I knew I needed to leave to go to Portugal, go watch my fiance play soccer. So I was like, we need more staff. And then when I left, it was like, alrighty, man, here you go. Obviously coached him through a few classes, made sure that the bare minimum could be done. And I wasn't really worried of like, hey, make sure you see every cue and make sure I knew for both of them that would come. It was like, that'll eventually happen with reps. So we grew in that capacity coaching wise. And then it was like, well, I really want to grow the gym. I know I can grow the gym probably while being gone, but I need help with like current clients. And that's when I looked into my own community. Her name's Oriana, bubbly personality, always cheering people on in our private Facebook group, congratulating them, like tells her own story really well. And just randomly when I think it was like a Thanksgiving liftoff, and I'm like lifting with her and I'm like, would you ever want to like work for me? Just like casually. And next thing you know, again, she was like, that would be like one of my dream positions, is like marketing and being in a gym that she loves the people and loves seeing people succeed. And I was like, cool. So I just kind of like planted that. And then my other two coaches were also from within the gym. She's a chiropractor who's our nutrition coach. Very caring personality again, is very professional. Both Oriana, Krista have been in a profession for multiple years. Emily and Ethan were in their low 20s when I hired them. So that was a little different in the two processes, is two people that definitely need a lot more mentoring and two people that were already like, hey, you just need to tell me what to do and I'll do it. So I think that was the main difference between experience and inexperience. So I hired some experienced people that, hey, as soon as you gave them a task, they just needed like an SOP or what needed to be done.
Okay.
And then lastly, Kayla, she's a physical therapist. Hopefully we'll end up subleasing from our space as well. She's just started, hired her as a coach. Again, someone who's been in the profession of almost like help first. So when I go back and like look at all these people, like they all have the main characteristic that I look for is like, they're not selfish. They're always willing to like give a helping hand out. They're always willing to listen and like be empathetic with people and not just like harsh, because they know life is hard. And I think when I talk to my staff, I talk to them in that manner too. When I develop them and when I talk to them is like, hey, I want to know how you're doing first before we're even like, we need to get this, and this done, or show the vision. So that's kind of how I developed. A lot of it was from within and just like who I thought just by speaking with them would be a really good fit for the culture that I wanted to build.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that that was going to be important.
That makes a ton of sense. And you've done an awesome job of picking people. You're essentially hiring for character and training for skill. But in some cases, you found some people who had some great skills and put them in the right place. And then you mentioned mentoring them to success. So this is all interesting. One of the big questions for me I want to ask is, I was so scared when I opened a gym to take responsibility for someone else's income, right? I didn't know. I was first time business owner. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, I can, suffer myself, but I didn't want to put someone else through that. You hired some people and you put together a business plan and so forth. How did you account for all this to make sure that you could sleep at night? Because I couldn't do it.
Yeah. To be honest, Mike, like before opening a gym, like, and just the way I kind of grew up, I know I don't need a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I know if I was able to support a staff, that eventually my income would come. Now
Mm-hmm.
with Two Brain, they were like, "Nah, that ain't gonna work." So I did pay myself first, and then because we were
Good.
successful, I sat down with them and asked them like, "What is your financial goals?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where do you want to go?" And for younger people, that's really hard. My younger staff is like, "I have no idea." But now Emily's getting married. They're going to
Start
probably
thinking, yeah.
eventually want a house. Like, now, hey, let's think about kids. Back to the original question. Within my business plan, I had money set for payroll, where it was
Key.
like,
Yep.
this is what I'm going to pay myself, but also payroll for staff.
Mm-hmm.
We need to hit this number for me to be able to pay them this amount and myself.
Mm-hmm.
To just to know that I was like comfortable in doing my due diligence of like, realistically as a CEO, they're trusting you to be able to build this thing so they can support their future.
Mm-hmm.
And that's special when someone trusts you with that.
Well, and you did it the right way where you worked with a mentor and you put together a business plan and put this stuff in there. Because like I said, I hid those costs by absorbing them personally to make my business look profitable on paper, but it wasn't because I was hiding all the labor costs. And then when I tried to offload the labor costs, you can imagine what happened. I started losing money because I was paying out money that I hadn't tried to figure out where it was coming in. So all of a
Yeah.
sudden my labor costs spiked. My revenue stayed the same. I was in a horrible position. That's when I called Chris Cooper and said, dude, I'm losing $5,000 a month. What do I do? Right. But
Yeah.
you went the opposite way where you sat down, made a business plan and figured out exactly where, what do I need to make, set a target to get this for myself, to pay this for these people, to create the lifestyle I want. Because like you said, you're, high-end athlete training for the CrossFit Games. You got a fiance who's playing pro soccer or football over in Europe, and you got to visit her from time to time, and you're on vacation. So like you put together a much more solid business plan than I did, where I hid those costs. And it's fascinating to see how that's turned out for you, because it took me like 8 years to take time off. It's taken you 2 or less. And I'm fascinated by
Yeah.
that. Another thing you mentioned that I thought was really interesting was I focused on finding coaches. You mentioned that you've got your people doing administrative back end stuff like billing, setting up profiles, processing membership payments, all that stuff. I didn't teach anyone how to do any of that. When did that start happening for you?
Yeah. So my main person that does that is definitely Emily.
Mm-hmm.
Honest, it wasn't like a set like, hey, let's sit down and figure this out. It was the problem came up where she was in the position that she could do it, and then from that part I taught. So or she just approaches me as like, hey, like I have this member that wanted to add a package this way early when we started. How do I do that? Okay, let's show her, have her do it. Don't just do it for her. And then that was kind of like how she was taught. Now for Kayla, actually after this meeting, because she's still being onboarded, we fast tracked it. We have a Microsoft team meeting or Google Meet, and we're going to go through that process again because it came up. She's getting personal training clients and like they want to buy it now.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're sending it to me, and it's adding this layer instead of just having her, hey, this is my rates. This is what it is. When would you like to start? Boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So now it's part of your my onboarding process for sure, that everyone's able to, with their client, start and stop packages, refund invoices, send them out. And if they don't know, then they know to ask probably Emily first before asking me. because she's well versed in it too, to where while I'm gone, I don't have to be like, okay, let me go into Kilo really quick and refund when it's just like 2 clicks.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the key things. Like, I wanted to ask about that because often you look as a gym owner to hire coaches first, but that's maybe not the best hire if you really think about it. There's other stuff that could come before that. I'll ask you this before I say the next part. Yeah. Did you do the value ladder exercise? And you might not have because you put together a business plan, but did you do that exercise with a mentor?
I wouldn't say like Courtney and I directly did that. I'm sure I did at one point of like, hey, what's our lowest? Yeah. Like, what can we pass off? And what's the things that like, hey, Bryce, you need to do this for the business to succeed. Mm-hmm. I feel like personally, I do a good job on like, yeah, this can be passed off. This is not low value because it's just like low effort, but very high priority things that someone else can definitely do if you just teach them. To where as the CEO and owner, you can now focus on the things you want to focus on, whether it's like building that new program or developing staff or being a better leader or
and that doesn't going on vacation. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me because you put together a business plan and accounted for staff inside of it. You had that plan already in place and hit the ground running with it. Whereas a lot of gym owners like me, we didn't have that. And so we had to kind of backfill things. And you start as an owner operator, you do all the stuff and wear all the hats. Listeners, the very quick value ladder exercise principles are you list every single job that you do in the business from cleaner to CEO level tasks, and you have them all on a list. You go beside each one and you put a replacement cost per hour. So it's like cleaner, $15, bookkeeper, $21, group coach, $25, personal trainer, $40, whatever it is. You rank all that stuff, you put it on a list, and then you say, how can I buy back time somewhere here to use that time to make more money here? So it's like easy one, hire a cleaner for 4 hours, costs you $60 or whatever it is. You take those 4 hours and you start doing CEO level tasks where you are, let's say you're sending out marketing emails and you're making $70 an hour. That's an easy win because you paid 60 for 4 hours and you're making $70 an hour, 280. You do the math. That's exactly how it works. And you go through that all the way through your business. Alongside that, you have formalization of tasks, roles and responsibilities, and delegation processes and mentorship. So you're not just tossing people and saying, hey, you got the billing now, and you walk and hang out with Bryce on the Chattahoochee here. You actually teach them how to do it. You do it yourself first, document it, teach them how to do it, then offload it. Then you can hang out with Bryce on the riverbank. Then after that, you come back and see, did anything go wrong? And if it did, you fix it and help them. If it didn't, you're good. You move on to the next task. So this is all to say there is a formalized process for this stuff. You don't have to just start flinging, roles at people or hiring people randomly. There is a very smooth way to buy back your time. And it's called the value ladder. A two-brain mentor can show you exactly how to do that. So that's the short version of it. And again, Bryce didn't have to do all of that because he built this stuff into his business plan, but he was very clever and started working on this business plan before he even started opening so that he could do this properly and didn't have to correct as many errors.
Yeah,
go ahead. Yeah,
I'd say like the biggest thing my mentor taught me was like the simplistic form is your cleaner's working from 3 to 4 to clean your gym. You have 2 NSIs. You're paying that cleaner $17.50, maybe $20 to clean for the hour, and you do 2 sales that are both $500 front end revenue.
Yep.
So you just made the gym $1,000 instead of cleaning your gym because you hired someone for simple as $20. I mean, that's the simplest way that I can put that is find the lowest thing that takes up probably the most time to where you replace it with something that can make you more money.
That is the simple ground level explanation. But when you're deep in the muck and it's like apocalypse now right up to your eyeballs, it's not easy to see that because I was like, I got to clean the thing. I got to fish the broken key out of the lock. I got a wasp nest on the roof. I got like all those things got in my way and I couldn't see a way to what Bryce just laid out in the simplest possible fashion. But there it is. Pay someone $20 an hour so you can make $500 an hour or whatever those numbers are for you. But that's the exact principle. It applies everywhere in business. Bryce, talk to me about the first time when you took an extended period away from the gym. Like, was it scary? Did it go well? What happened?
Ooh. Yeah, it was definitely scary.
Right. The baby is in the bath, right? Like, oh.
Yeah. So I believe I stepped away from the gym for the first time, probably my first trip to Portugal, and it was like a week. Actually, yeah, I guess. So like my startup, I was doing sales technically in Iceland before we even opened though. So I'm not going to count it. Actually, step away was probably like 6 months after open.
That's still impressive.
It was it was like I have two coaches and me. And I was just like, if any of them get sick, like now one person's just doing everything.
Yeah.
And it was really scary. And I think the best thing you can do when you first step away is talk to your staff and speak belief into them and that you trust them and that they can get the job done. Because obviously you being there all the time, they're going to see you as like the crutch and that the go-to person for everything. Now, when I stepped away, it was like, all right, we're doing this. Like, guys, I'm on a 7-hour time difference. As problems come up, you can message me, but I may not be able to get back to you right away. So in a sense, I kind of left them on an island and let them like learn and learn how to problem solve if something came up. I think that's also important as an owner, even managerial stuff is like, you don't want to be overlooking them on everything. It's like at some point you have to give the power to them and really like believe in your staff that they can get it done while you're gone. Because if you don't and you talk to them of like, oh, do you think you can do it? Instead of, hey, like, I know you can do this. This is the SOP. Here it is. If something comes up, just message me and we'll talk it through. It was terrifying. Like every time I leave, I'm like, man, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Luckily, really nothing big. There's always going to be small things here and there. And, maybe a coach doesn't show up, but in the moment, like, what can you really do? Like, all right, I'm going to talk to my coach and we'll lay down our expectations again, apologize to staff and move forward. Yeah. There's no reason to sulk on anything if while you're gone, something does happen.
And so that's the plan that we often refer to with True Brain, the hit by a bus plan. You put this stuff in place and you mentor your staff and you do all these things. And then with the help of a mentor, you decide, I'm going to take some time off. And maybe you don't like run shirtless with Bryce full of sangria through the streets of Portugal, flipping Alfa Romeos or whatever, like at a soccer match. Like maybe you don't do that first, but you take like a weekend off, right? You do something like that and just see what happens. You give your staff your cell phone for emergency use only. Tell them, here's all the stuff, right? But call me if it's like, if something's on fire, and then you go away for a weekend and you come back and see like what went wrong, what went right. And it could be something like basic that you forgot. Like you did not tell the cleaner how to get more soap when it was out. Something little simple like that. And you fill that in, you backfill into your processes, figure it out, reinstall those with that person. It could be something major. Like, Bryce said, like two people got sick and I didn't have enough backup. Then you got to look at some different staffing concerns and things like that. But that's the idea is you do these tests, you see what breaks, fix it. If you always wait till it's perfect before you take some time off, you may never take time off. After this, if 2 days or something like that works well, extend that a little bit. And eventually you can work that up to like longer periods and so forth. And there are many Two Brain gym owners that run their gyms from afar. So there are people that run gyms from Florida and they have them in other locations. So they're offsite owners. Other gyms owners work very few hours supervising their gym. And they do it like in Chris Kruper's golden hour concept where they crush stuff for an hour a day, move on to other stuff. There's all sorts of different plans. There are other gym owners who are much more hands-on in their gym, but do take extended vacations regularly because they have all these systems and processes in place. Do not offload stuff and assume everything will be fine. But also don't worry too much. Do it properly, put the systems in place, mentor your staff, take some time off, then fix the stuff that didn't work out. And it's a constant cycle of improvement in a business. And that makes all the difference in the world. Bryce, how did a mentor help you do this? Give me you talked about it, you brushed on a few points, but like working with Courtney, what are some specific things that she did to give you some real support here to help you get to a place where you can take regular vacations?
Man, I mean, that's a good one. I mean, Courtney's been like super instrumental for me. Like, even if I get like a little emotional about it, but really she like put the belief in me that I'm like doing it, and that like, I not like deserve, but like you earned the right to go and leave because of all the hard work you've put in. So that's one of like, not even just like business side, but as a personal side of like helping me just believe in self was like huge. Like, hey, Bryce, you're doing it right. Now from like analytical side, it was, we're looking at numbers, we're making sure that we have the right amount, like top end revenue, we're looking at all of our expenses. And then I mostly just do like check-ins with her. So like, while I was in Minnesota, my truck broke down, and it was just like, crap, can I do this? Like, I need to get back home. Can I buy a truck right now? And I just called her real quick. She's like, well, what do the numbers say?
Mm.
It's like, yeah, they say that I can. And so I've done that for my trips as well, of like,
Right.
hey, like I want to go on a trip in 3 months, or I want to every other weekend go here. What do the numbers say? Like, is your staff in a good position for set up for success? Yes. Is the money there and you want to go do it? Yes. Okay. Then why not go do it?
Mm-hmm.
And now I say all this, right? Where you, as a gym owner, you can make pretty dang good money. You could pay your staff really well. Because of my lifestyle decisions, there's also been other things that have to take a back seat, whether it be your investments, or I've wanted to buy my first home. That's got to be put on the back seat, because right now, my current life, I want to travel. And those are decisions that you also have to be okay with after you get out of the muck of, man, I'm not the only one in the gym. I've got great things. I want to go do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a little life assessment of like, what's really important to me right now? For me, that's going to see my fiance and training for the CrossFit Games and needing to travel.
Mm-hmm.
For others, that might be, I want to go on a camping trip with all my kids or go fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And that fills your cup too. Some people need a week, other people need a day, but really those lifestyle decisions help you be a better CEO and leader for your staff and to develop your staff, in my opinion. So that would be my 2 cents on that, as well as like, there is some give and take when you leave or go spend money on these trips. It's not like it's an endless flow of cash and you can do everything. Unless you're in that position, then that's awesome.
But that's, I mean, what I'm hearing from you is that Courtney gave you essentially permission to like step back from the business, because
100%.
sometimes it takes that and I didn't have this at the time, but it takes an objective person to say, Bryce, everything's okay. We've done all these things. We've ticked all these boxes from an outside perspective. You can take a week off, dude. And that's the emotional side, saying, give me permission, and then holding you accountable for, did you book that trip? That is that side. But then the other side of that, because you can't just do that and hope everything's great. The other side of that is the analytical. Here are the numbers that back up what I'm saying emotionally, right? I'm giving you permission to go, but this is the cash flow. This is the books. This is the quarter. This is your annual report. Everything here says you can do it. And you said exactly that. Can I buy this truck? Yes. Can I take this trip? Yes. If the numbers add up, then it's okay. And that's the whole system there, is that, permission and support, also the accountability and the data, because Two Brain Systems always run on data. And it's not just enough to say, woo, Bryce, take a week off and the gym burns down. Like, you got to have the back end stuff for that as well.
Yeah.
So I know you've got meetings coming up, and I know you got a bunch of stuff to do on vacation here. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'll ask you, gym owner is out there right now. They are listening to you and they're in the muck right now. And they're just saying, like, I could never take a day off. I could never do what Bryce is doing. What is your advice to that person?
Well, first I would say book a call with Two Brain. Find you a mentor that understands the situation, with whatever situation you're in. Don't over stress about it. Believe in yourself and your capabilities as a leader and CEO, that you can develop individuals and create a culture that is a culture that you are proud of. And then once you develop the culture and that like own trust in that you're capable, just start developing that staff. It's little bit by little. Okay, this came up. Okay, this is how you do that. Write it down on a piece of paper, put it in a chat GPT, create an SOP. Awesome. That's done. That's a minor step into a bigger goal we want. So I would say get a mentor, create the culture, and know what culture you want to bring, whether it's a help first, or if you're in like a athletic development gym, maybe you want more like rah, get after it type coaches, then create that and understand that not everyone will fit into that mold, but you also have to fit those people into the right places. Mm-hmm. Right. So with Emily, she was also a nutrition coach. She didn't like it. Then we took her out of that role to a spot where we knew she could be successful. And biggest thing is just like, don't give up on it, because you're capable, and that you have the skill set to be successful. And you need to believe that first before you can move forward.
There's your summary. Bryce, where can people cheer for you at the CrossFit Games? Is the team name going to be Souris Valley CrossFit?
No, so I'm underneath Training Think Tank.
There you go.
They're based out of Roswell, Georgia. But Training Think Tank, team CrossFit Games, August 1st through the 3rd. Hopefully they stream it. We'll find out.
We'll be watching for you. And if you are now a Bryce Broome fan, that's how you can follow him at the CrossFit Games. Bryce, thanks so much for taking time out of your vacation to do this. Best of luck at the games, and we'll circle back with you soon enough.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate it.
This is Run a Profitable Gym. Thank you for listening. I'm Mike Workenden. Please hit subscribe wherever you are for more episodes just like this. And now here's Two Brain founder Chris Cooper with a final message.
Hey, it's Two Brain founder Chris Cooper with a quick note. We created the Gym Owners United Facebook group to help you run a profitable gym. Thousands of gym owners just like you have already joined. In the group, we share sound advice about the business of fitness every day. I answer questions, I run free webinars, and I give away all kinds of great resources to help you grow your gym. I'd love to have you in that group. It's Gym Owners United on Facebook, or go to gymownersunited.com to join. Do it today.